Happy Friday. Welcome to Decaf. Mark, what are you drinking? I'm really sensitive about your caffeine intake.
No, this is the good like healthy. It's called sweet summer melon. So it actually tastes like do you like honeydew?
No.
Okay, well it tastes like honeydew.
Okay. I feel like honeydew is like, I don't like fruit just in general, but I feel like honeydew is what they put in like the prepackaged fruit at the grocery store to make it
They
look full.
do. They do. The thing is, I don't like honeydew that much either, but this is really good. It's a good version. I like cantaloupe better personally, but like, yeah, and it's only 5 calories for the whole thing.
I feel like your all of the energy drinks that you drink are like a cocktail without the fun.
Yeah, that's fair. But like also without all the sugar and stuff, like I'm doing well. I haven't had a bad energy drink like a Red Bull or an Amp or anything like that in over a month.
Wow.
Not that this is like great for you, but it's not bad. I mean, it's like not that much sugar or artificial flavoring, and it's more caffeine than I should probably have. But outside of that, it's fine.
You're on that wedding grind, shredding for the wedding.
Yeah, I know. It's less than 2 months away.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Tis the season for weddings. I have two friends getting married in August, September, like everyone's getting married right now. And I'm just here for the open bar.
But you know the issue is that I realized, and like I have to like decline some of my friends' weddings, but it's like it's basically almost 2 years worth of weddings because all the COVID weddings that didn't happen that had to be rescheduled. So it's like it's really 2 years of weddings in like a 4 or 5 month season. It seems like.
Yes, it's like everyone has weddings here coming up in a few weeks. I'm bridesmaid in one of my friends' weddings, another wedding the next night in Birmingham, my sister's engagement tea in Anniston the next day, and then back, and then the next weekend it starts all over again. It's just so much.
Can I tell you my new wedding rule? Because I don't like going to weddings, especially when I have to travel and stuff like that. Not that I hate weddings, but like I don't like traveling and spending all the money and the hotel and the whatever.
Yeah.
So my new rule is I'm not going to a wedding unless I'm A, in it, or B, it's a family member. And by family member, I mean like my internal family. Like
Okay.
basically, like otherwise I'm not going.
Honestly, that makes a lot of sense. Buying gifts, dude, I'm gonna be in the poorhouse if I keep buying wedding gifts.
I know. And the other problem is like a lot of times you're supposed to give them money for like it's supposed to be like kind of what your plate costs. But it's like, man, I didn't want this $100 chicken plate. How about you don't do this for me and then I don't give you the gift?
I didn't ask for this. I'm
Yeah.
not paying for
The
it.
dumbest thing is when I got out of college, my first wedding was like it was like 2 months after I was out of college. I didn't really know what to get people, so I get my friend Rob, who I was in the wedding as a groomsman in, and my other friend Mackenzie. I got them I got her 2 DVDs. I got him a basketball and and like I think the goods on DVD. It was some ridiculous. Like I didn't really know what to give people for wedding, and I feel like it was so different than every other gift they got that I have learned. But I'm sorry, Rob McKenzie. That was the basketball and DVDs, and it was just something that we liked and did together. So I tried to do personal things. I know it was a bad gift. I should honestly, and they're coming to my thing. I should give them a real gift now that I'm not 22 and giving them basketballs and DVDs.
Yeah, you might owe them like a plate or something. Like a
Yeah, like something useful. Although and Rob's terrible at basketball, so it didn't even help him. So I don't know.
It was honestly a mean gift. It was honestly like really mean.
Yeah. Well, so I do owe them a better gift, I think.
Oh my gosh. Jeez. Mark, you just some of the things you do and say I will never understand.
I also just one more quick story. When I was with them, I went to my first wine tasting. Same people. I didn't really understand how wine tasting worked, and I dressed like a complete moron, with like really long mesh shorts on this tall t-shirt and like a backwards hat. But that wasn't even the least classy part. I brought in a 12-pack of tacos from Taco Bell to eat with the wine because I didn't really understood how it worked.
Mark, sometimes
I was like 23. Give me a break.
I just sometimes wonder, like, what planet did you come from? Because
I don't know. I just felt like I felt like I really like stepped into that be yourself no matter what and didn't really think about other stuff. But it doesn't work out.
be yourself no matter what, unless you're Mark Cunningham.
Yeah. I just did not understand the rules of these things, and it all was Rob McKenzie. So thankfully, I'm more of an adult now.
Are Rob and McKenzie the ones that made you the godfather of their child? Because if so, they
No. They were no, they don't have a kid yet, and they'd be smarter than that, I think.
Yeah. One can only hope. Jeez. So speaking of making better decisions, there was a report that came out this week about Metro Nashville Public Schools really spending taxpayer money in a very irresponsible way. And I think saying very irresponsible is like almost being generous. Like the way that they spent money is like, I can't even put words to it. It doesn't make any sense. $1.8 million on a website. Like, Mark, tell us what happened. and then I'll offer my color commentary.
Yeah, it's almost like it seems like it'd almost be fraud if it wasn't clearly incompetence. And
Like,
it's a yes. I mean, like they did this whole, I think it was a $14 or $15 million contract for the COVID stuff with MNPS. So that's National Public Schools with Meharry College.
okay.
And what happened was like they did this, like it was supposed to be for testing all these things. They said, oh, it's an 11-month contract, but we're gonna actually it's only gonna be 4.5 months, but it's gonna be the same cost. But they're like, and if you look at the contract, it's a bunch of hourly workers they're paying. How could it possibly be the same cost? So that's number one. And there was obviously no oversight on that and it didn't make any sense. Number two was, and this is all credit to Dennis Ferrer. He uncovered this story. This was a real bombshell, and he's doing kind of, I think, a 6 or 7 part series on it. Oh. But the biggest thing was this website, which looks like absolute garbage. It is awful. I said that to you.
I could do better on like Squarespace with my eyes closed.
I know, seriously. I mean, it's awful. And it's like, and it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't like, and so we talked to a couple big web developers we know, and like, how much would that cost? It's like, well, you know, if it looked nice, which it doesn't, it could maybe with the government, you know, with all those contracts and how much you're gonna have to be, like maybe 50 to 75,000, and that's too much. The website cost $1.8 million, which is insane. Our website, which looks great, was like 15 grand or 10 grand. And it's way better than that.
Yeah, our website
like $1.8 million is just a lot of, and it seems, again, I'm not accusing anyone of fraud because I don't think that there's any evidence of fraud, but it's like, it's so bad that it almost makes you think of that because the incompetence there is incredible. And it's like, how do you expect that? So, I mean, in that interview, I said, there's got to be some audit on this because there's no way. I want to see the line items, how they spent that money, because that website should not have cost at an absolute maximum more than $75,000.
Maybe having a line of work, like a 1.8 million for a crappy website. I'll take it.
I know. And the thing is that most people, like me and you, have worked with websites a little bit, and we've worked with vendors. Most people have no idea. It's like, oh, maybe $1.8 million is reasonable. It is not. It is an awful, awful deal. And I understand that there's a lot of things I don't know how much it costs. I don't work with it, but websites should not cost that much. And it looks like it is so bad. It's an awful website. So there needs to be some audit of this because this money was absolutely wasted. And it's the same year, you know, it's right after they increased our property taxes. How do you define that? That's our money going there to this website. Like, these are the people that are expected to handle our money when they're paying $1.8 million for an awful website. And I think the rest of the contract was bad too. But like, that is just the one that sticks out the most to me because I understand how crazy it is. But shout out to Dennis Ferrer for just doing a great job.
I look at things like this, and then I look at my like millennial friends who are like libs, and I'm like, you want to put more things in the hands of the government, and this is what's going on. Like, open your eyes, look alive, pay attention, because this is insane. You would want to give the government more money and more things because you would rather them handle your problems than people handle them themselves. All right, I quit. I'm done.
And we need more oversight on something like that. Like, I know it's like $1.8 million is a lot of money. And if you're going to do a contract that, like, I would expect that this, you know, the city of Nashville would have more. They would have like something specific about how much it cost for what they did. All they have, their receipts were just basically like 4 different things. And it's like what me and you would give a receipt if we ate a $22 lunch at Shake Shack. We'd say, oh, like food and $22. That's all it is. It's like website stuff. $1.7 million. And that's at least that. It doesn't even go, they have another thing, which I can't understand, but a maintenance, which is another like 70 grand a month, which I think is the website, but it's hard to understand from their contract.
70 grand a month?
Yeah. It's an insane, I don't know what it is there because the contract makes no sense and it's hard to even understand. The only thing I do know is that the website was $1.8 million.
I ask our web guy to do so many stupid things that I can't figure out. And I bet he's thinking he's in the wrong line of work too, because we were giving him 70 grand a month for all the dumb things that I asked him to do. Gosh, that would be insane. And didn't Nashville like not lay off any employees during the COVID thing? And so they've got all these employees and they're paying an outside contractor for a website and they're not keeping track of
and they're paying hourly rates for somebody who's only working half the time. I don't understand it. It's awful. And it's mismanagement at its greatest. And I hope that, I mean, honestly, shout out to Dennis, because I mean, or just investigative journalists generally, this is a big deal. And I hope that it starts to get picked up, because this is you say $1.8 million for a website. It's like, it might not be as spicy because it's not actually fraud, I don't think, but it's like, this is pure incompetence. And this is the reason people don't like the government. And you know what? I was really on board with the tourism money being the pork of the year. This is going to be my vote right now. I know we'll have an internal discussion, but this is so bad.
It really is bad. I think it might be my pork of the year too, just because I know that 1.8 million for a website is actually like, you have to be like fully asleep when you wrote that budget. If you
I know.
You mentioned Shake Shack. Let's talk about Shake Shack. There are
I did that on purpose. I tried to set you up.
You did a really good job. Thank you for that. There are a few things I love more in life than a smoke shack and French fries. That their burger, with the peppers and the sauce. There are a few things I love more in life. It looks like there will be lots of Americans who will not be getting their smoke shack and fries because I read yesterday that Shake Shack CEO is going to require proof of vaccination to enter their restaurant. Now, me as kind of a challenger, um, vaccinated or not, I would say, all right, I'm done with you. That's ridiculous. That's insane. I don't care. It doesn't matter if I am vaccinated or not vaccinated. I'm not going because I will not be controlled. That's probably why I'm still single because I have because I have that mindset. But my mindset is I will not be controlled. You can't tell me what to do. I'm just not going to eat there. But that's probably unhealthy. Mark, take it away.
Well, no, it probably is healthy because you're not eating Shake Shack. But I don't know. It's one of those things that I have. It's not even mixed feelings. I mostly agree with you. I think that there's going to be people who go too far and say, well, they shouldn't be allowed to do this. Like, yes, they should. They should be allowed to do that if they want to.
Yes,
they shouldn't have to serve you. It seems like the most, and not to call it the right, it seems like the most misunderstood thing on the right is HIPAA and what they think that does. I've talked to a bunch of lawyers and I feel like everyone's like, oh no, HIPAA, they can't do it. It's like, I don't think you know what HIPAA is. I don't really know what HIPAA is, but I know that you're wrong about that because it's specifically between a doctor and them giving out information. But I've talked to a bunch of lawyers and people they're like, look, I mean, we agree with their sentiment, but they don't get HIPAA.
Right.
So outside of that,
also, I will say it's only the Shake Shacks in DC and New York. But I am going to New York I'm going to DC in like 3 weeks, and I'm going to New York right after that. So,
but it's a company principle, right? So if you don't agree with that, then you shouldn't go to any of them. And that's the point. And I think that's kind of, the consumer, that's kind of capitalism. You get to talk and say, I don't want to go there. I think it's fine. They do that. I don't like that. I mean, I am vaccinated, but I don't like the idea of having to pull out my card, or I don't even know, take a picture of my phone. I actually don't even know my card is. I took one picture, so I got to find that, but no, I don't care for that. And I haven't gone really in a while. I do love it. But I do think that would make me less likely to want to go there.
Yeah. It's just, it seems like earlier, way months ago, when Expensify CEO sent out an email saying basically vote Biden Harris, and he said that as their company position. I use Expensify for a couple of things, but it made me really mad that was being pushed on me by a company that I was choosing to use. And so I kind of feel the same way about Shake Shack. This is kind of insane. This goes beyond wear a mask inside, which again, never really bothered me. I didn't like it because I have sensitive skin, but it didn't really matter because as long as places were open, I was happy to wear a mask inside them. But this goes kind of beyond that. It's like, if you're not choosing to put something in your body, then you cannot be served by us. That seems kind of insane. So we'll see.
I don't like it, but again, it's one of the things that we have to believe, and it's they can do that. They have the right to do that. I don't think it's going to be a good business decision. I'm not sure that. Because it's not even, I feel like there's this kind of misnomer out there that it's mostly the right or all the right who's going to be there's going to be people on the left or people that have been vaccinated. We're whoa, I mean, I don't like that still. And I don't want to, you're making them get their extra work. So I do think that it's going to hurt them more than they think, I believe. And like you said, it's not just the New York and DC locations. It's this idea that this is a company standard, even if they're not happening in Nashville. It's I don't like what the company's doing or the headquarters doing. So I don't want to go to the Nashville one either. So I do. And I mean, I feel that way. I don't go there often, but they just built a new one kind of near Kier's house in Franklin that I've been excited to go to. So at this point, I agree with you. I don't think it's a good thing. I bet, my guess is, let's take a bet here. They reverse this before the end of August. I think it lasts less than a month in those places.
I'm going to give it till my birthday. I'll give it till September 11th.
Okay. Which is, I mean, basically the same time, but we both think they're going to reverse it.
Yeah, I think it'll go through a holiday weekend, and they'll realize throughout Labor Day weekend when people are supposed to be tourisming and people aren't going to Shake Shack, and then they'll reverse it.
That's the thing too. Washington D.C. and New York, people are gonna go there. It's a tourist place. They're gonna go there well, I don't have my vaccine card. I don't. Even if they got my vaccine, they wouldn't have it with it. So I don't. I think it's bad policy. And I think it really is probably more virtue signaling than anything.
Yeah, I'm giving it through a holiday weekend, and then I think it'll be gone by my birthday, by September 11th. Let's talk about the Olympics. My favorite time of the year.
This is for you. I'm just going to stay quiet here.
Okay, so actually the other night was sitting on the couch by myself watching the Olympics, and I texted my friends and said, I can't wait to have a baby, and I hope I have a baby right before the Olympics so that I have someone that I can force to watch the Olympics with me. So I've got 4 years to have a kid to sit in front of me and watch the Summer Olympics with. The U.S. is placed 3rd in the medal count right now. Xander Schauffele this morning, I've been going to sleep watching golf every night. Xander Schauffele has pulled ahead, and he is currently in first place in the golf. Justin Thomas, my boy, not doing so good. Suni Lee, even though she is an Auburn student or Auburn grad, I don't know what she did. She got the gold medal in gymnastics, which I think is great. But one thing,
can I ask you a quick question? How do they do I don't understand the medal count. Like, do you get, because like it doesn't, like whenever I look at that, it's just gold, silver, and bronze. Like, shouldn't they have some number, like a gold's worth 2, a silver's worth 1, and a bronze worth 0.5? Like there's no way to know who's winning, really. They're like, oh, well, they have the most medals, but they have the most gold medals. Like how do you can't really tell who won.
Yeah, I don't think it works that way. Like
it should though. Every other sport does. I don't like the idea that doesn't.
I don't think it works that way. I think it's just like medal counts. Like if
well, I don't like that. That's my opinion.
Put Mark in charge. Let him flip.
Yeah, that's right. I'll make the Olympics cool again.
The big controversy this week was Simone Biles. Now, I will defend her to the death, and I've gotten in arguments with our coworkers, with my family, whatever. But I just think as a world-class athlete, as soon as she dropped out, I knew there was something other than she had a mental health issue. Like a world-class athlete like that won't just drop out because of a mental health issue. Then it came out that she was having that aerial disorientation, which was really, really dangerous. And I just think I have two opinions on this. My first opinion is everyone who's glorifying quitting for your mental health, we need to be careful about how far we take that. But everyone who is trashing Simone, I'd like you to get out there and go through what she's gone through with US gymnastics, do the caliber of tricks that she does, and then have an issue and feel like you have to push through. Like, I just think that all the haters need to calm down, reel it back. I think you can be a team both. Team, let's not glorify quitting, but also team, she's an exception to almost every rule, and we need to keep that in mind. I don't know. Am I wrong, Mark?
No, I mean, I actually think you're mostly right. I just feel like I've seen kind of things from both sides. I'm like, no, I don't agree with that. Like I saw Matt Walsh like call her out, which is the conservative. And not only that, he called her out and said, oh, Michael Jordan never quit. And it seems like he retired when his dad died. That's a pretty, but
Matt Walsh
I think that was
study.
What was that?
Matt Walsh needs to study. Like,
well, at least for this, yeah, I just don't agree. I think it's too much. But then on the left, it's like there's whatever Desmond likes to talk, calling her a hero. I'm like, she's not a hero either. Like, that's not what she is. She made a decision that was, I guess, right for her. I think we all believe in people making their own decisions. And I don't know. I think that's part of what we need to understand. Like, we don't know what's going on.
No.
I think some people. I mean, I guess, and it's not necessarily political, but I think some people kind of this idea that like, oh, she was just stressed out, and that's why she did it. If that was the case, no. I mean, that would be ridiculous because she's representing our country, and it's like every sport has this at every moment. But she's done this before, so I just don't feel like I really know what's going on in her head, and I'm not going to criticize her. I'm also not going to say it's great. I'm not going to be like, oh, good for her. This is an incredible moment in sports. Like I read too. It's like it's neither. If it's the right decision for her, that's fine. She let her team know. It's not like her team forfeited. They just had to have somebody else do her thing for her.
And it was clearly the right decision for the team because she had the lowest score on vault after she got disoriented. She dropped out and the team got silver. Like, it was clearly the right decision to let someone else take it when she knew she was unfit to compete.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch any of it and haven't paid attention. Again, I actually haven't turned on the Olympics yet. I think I watched maybe 4 minutes of one of the Team USA games for basketball.
Okay, well, I'm deeply obsessed.
So you know better than I, but like, it's just not I just don't understand why we always have to be in this. It's either, oh, she's awful for doing this, or B, she's a hero. I feel that way. And I mean, this is going to a different thing, and maybe this is not, but like, I feel that way on some of those like transgender issues that we have. I know it's a little bit different. It's like, look, we should let people live the way they want, whether we agree or disagree. That's like treat them with respect, show them, like, if they want to be called by a certain pronoun, call them that. Don't be a jerk and not call them that. But at the same time, we shouldn't glorify and say this is a great thing. It doesn't matter. It's like, if you want to treat them like every other person, just treat them like a person. Like, don't say this is the greatest thing ever they're doing. It's like, No, I mean, how's it the greatest thing? It's just how they feel or whatever. But also, like, let's not say they're awful and like we're going to intentionally not call it. It doesn't have to be a hero or villain. It can just be like, yeah, there's a middle ground. Like, let's just treat them like a normal person. That should be the goal.
Mark, I literally completely agree with you. Do whatever you want to do. Don't make me pay for it. And I'm just going to treat you like a normal person.
Yeah,
like,
and just general thing is be respectful. I mean, like if they want to be called by a certain pronoun, you should call them by that. It doesn't mean you have to agree with what they did, or it's just human decency, just common decency. And the same thing with this woman, like she's obviously going through something. Let's not criticize her like crazy, but also let's not make her out to be some hero.
Like she did what she did and it's done.
Yeah. And somebody got a surgery to change whatever. It's like, they're not a hero. Like they got something done, like fine. Like just, it's just, I wish there was more of a middle ground, but it seems like everything is so polarized these days. It's either like somebody's a villain or a hero, when a lot of times they're really in between.
I know. And like, it seems us that really don't have opinions get villainized. People are like, we have to have an opinion. I'm like, I really don't. Like I am not going to put my pronouns in my Instagram bio, but it's just because I don't see the need. Like I don't have an opinion.
I'm pretty, I mean, I'm like, whatever, 99% of Americans who they are the gender that they were born with. If you're not one of those people, fine. And we'll try to treat you as well as we can. And like, obviously you're going to forget maybe sometimes what the pronouns are, but like the goal is to try to treat them with respect. And it's just not everything has just become so polarized. And there just doesn't seem like there's middle ground. And it's like me and you don't necessarily not have an opinion because we're not educated. We just don't feel the need to
care.
Yeah. And it's like, we're going to treat people well. That's it. And we're not going to put us, it's also the same people. I mean, this is just another separate thing, but like when the Alabama kicker, like misses a field goal and then he gets all these death threats on there. It's like people just need to calm down, especially with athletes. It's like, you don't know them. They messed up in their job. You don't need to like, it's some people are insane, especially online. That's what
all these people, all these people that were calling her like selfish and self-centered and all this stuff. I'm like, you go out there and get sexually abused by your team doctor for years and years and years, compete in the Olympics, compete in the world championships, get gold medals all around, and then try one of the most complicated vaults that's ever been attempted and lose your way in the air and then feel like you have to quit. You go out there and then you tell me how you feel. And until then, I don't want to hear you call her selfish or self-centered, because the only reason that she was competing in the Olympics this time was to make U.S. gymnastics redo how they do things, because she said if one of his victims was on the team, they would be more likely to change. So call her selfish one more time.
I think that we all just need to realize that we're not in the person's shoes, especially that we're criticizing. And I think that goes, of course, that I think that's a political thing too. It's like, just because you think Trump is all these awful things doesn't mean that this person, I mean, they might've went through some, you don't know what it's like to lose your business, or you don't know what like, so I think we just need to have a little bit more empathy with people and say, you know what, I don't know what they've gone through, and I'm not going to be super critical without knowing that. Now, I mean, if you murder somebody, of course, there's some things that are like, you should know, but like, just for these things that are really kind of culture issues now, just try to have a little empathy and say that I don't know what this person went through. So, and I don't know the situation they're in, so I'm not going to be critical of them.
Yeah. And just be kind. People are just not being kind. It's easy to sit behind a Twitter keyboard or behind your phone and say things. But if you had to say something to someone's face, like, that's not good.
I agree.
Before we go, let's talk about something fun. Mark and I are pop culture specialists. I would say maybe me more than him, but there are a lot of celebrities out there who are double and triple threats, and they have these hidden talents that we don't really know existed. Like I personally love when athletes, like when an athlete from one sport goes and plays another sport, like Charles Barkley was like a multi-talented athlete.
I don't think Charles Barkley's who you're thinking of. He's terrible at golf, but there was like Bo Jackson, Michael Jordan, not Charles Barkley, I don't think.
Yeah, he's good at basketball, and he's good at several sports in college.
I don't think he played any other sports in college.
I thought he played multiple sports in college. This shows you how much I know.
There is a lot of people like that though.
Yeah, Bo Jackson.
Kyler Murray's a good example.
Bo Jackson was good. Charles Barkley, he's trying to get better at golf. But what I'm saying is
he does play two sports, just not well.
Yeah, there are people who will surprise you how they go out and do things, like Aaron Rodgers when he went out and played golf, and he plays football. Like Charles Barkley is just who I think of because he's an Alabama boy. But there are all these people who are good at multiple things. Like Channing Tatum was an athlete and then he became an actor. Like Who are some of yours, Mark? Because I love thinking of multi-talented folks and wish
Well,
that I'm
Terry
more.
Crews is a good one because Terry Crews was like a college football player.
Oh
And now he's a
yeah,
great actor. And The Rock, too. I mean,
The
The Rock was a
Rock.
wrestler, which I mean, wrestling is kind of acting, so it's kind of the same thing. My favorite, which nobody else would say, is like I love Don Johnson. He was wonderful as he's Kenny Powers' dad in Eastbound and Down. And he was in what was the show? He was the really big show in the 80s. You know, oh gosh. Well, okay, but he also had a #1 hit song called Heartbeat, which is incredible. Yeah. Oh, Miami Vice. So he was the main guy in Miami Vice in the 80s. But like, and not only that, like he went from like serious to like really comedically funny in Eastbound and Down. And he had this hit song. So Eddie Murphy, like a lot of people don't necessarily respect their singing, but I think they're great.
I love a crossover, and it doesn't even
Yeah.
have to be like Kim Kardashian being a lawyer. She's going
Yeah.
from this just like icon to a lawyer. And oh, there was another one that I was thinking of, not necessarily the same thing as Paris Hilton's song sucked, but when Paris
Oh no, don't say that. First of all, Kira loves that song. What's it called? Stars Are Blind or something?
Stars Are Blind.
Oh, she loves that song. Oh, she literally plays it. Like we went to the jukebox. I said, "I'll give you one song." She said, "Oh, do Stars Are Blind" by Paris Hilton.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I also love like when former athletes go on and they're like commentators for sports now. Like you kind of have to have, you had your athletic skills, and then you kind of have to have like a personality. Like you have to be, you know, personable to be on television. I don't know. I just think it's really cool when people are good at multiple things, and I wish that God had given me a little bit.
Yeah. I would take more talent. I always like it when somebody's like they're like an actor, so they don't actually sing or actress or whatever, but then they'll sing in a movie. So it's like they're not like even what's the girl with the red hair's name? That's like pretty. She's very famous. I can't. No, the other one. This real skinny. I don't know. She was in. I'm doing a great job of talking about my pop culture.
Skinny, red hair.
Yeah, no, but it's like it's these people who are they're not actually singers, but it's like wow, their voice is so much better than they thought because they'll sing in a movie, and you're like wow, like it's that was just so much better than I thought it was gonna be. You're like an 8 out of 10, not good enough to be famous, but like I wasn't expecting to be that good.
Like Zac Efron in High School Musical.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. I'm for it. Well, aside from my thinking that Charles Barkley was like good at
Emma Stone
when she was in La La Land. Yes. So good. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Maybe I'll pick up like tennis, or I'm thinking about picking up golf. Maybe I can be good at two things. I can be good at politics.
What are you good at for the first thing?
Shut your mouth.
No, I'm not.
You're such a jerk. I'm an excellent dancer. I'm hilarious. I'm nice. I'm good at a lot of things.
Yeah, delusional. There's a lot of things that you have that you're good at. I agree.
I quit. Justin, if you're listening, this is overrated. I don't get paid enough for this kind of abuse. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, you're right. I'm really not good at that. I'm really good at cleaning. Anyway, I need to stop.
Watching dogs? You're pretty good at that.
Yeah, I'm really good at watching dogs. Yeah. Mark, what are you good at? You're not good at anything either.
Utah Jazz stuff. Utah Jazz trivia.
Being a jerk.
Well, that's two things at least. So.
Multi-talented. Yeah. I think we've really gone off the rails here. Mark, try to be nicer to me by next week, all right?
Okay, I'll see you later.
Yeah, not gonna happen.